Less Tax for Landlords is a business that works with landlords to help them achieve a highly tax-efficient professional property business. We do that by combining tax consultancy, accountancy, business planning and mentoring, and at arm's length financial planning, all with the sole intent of helping that landlord improve or at least achieve their wealth goals. And we help landlords from a holistic perspective really get on top of their business. Where are they now? What are they trying to do? What are the issues they've got? And whilst the name is Less Tax for Landlords, it's not really about the tax. It's about helping them get from A to B.
Well, the business started by first of all recognising there was an opportunity to bring together all the constituent parts a landlord in particular would need to run a highly tax efficient professional property business. You know, the tax consultancy, accountancy, estate planning, business planning and so on. I've been involved directly and indirectly with financial services, law and accountancy since the mid-80s. I was invited via LinkedIn to join a Legal 500 to be their estate planning director, which I did. Nature abhors a vacuum. Solicitors firms aren't entrepreneurs, neither are accountants mainly, strangely. Identified a gap in the market that nobody was pulling together the constituent parts of any kind of professional service, let alone for landlords. It could be for financial advisors offering estate planning or tax advice, immaterial. The accountant didn't talk to the lawyer didn't talk to the financial advisor, and they're all talking at you. So the conceit was here, why not bring it together? So you really only ever talk to one people. He or she talks to everybody else, they talk to you, and you get this balanced board of advice. So you make sure you're pretty much always in the best place. And particularly with the landlord gap, nobody was really servicing it. Even so-called specialist property accountants weren't dealing with things like capital taxes, capital gains or inheritance tax, let alone estate planning, or yes, setting up a company for somebody but omitting the shareholders agreement. It can be pretty tricky times.
I got involved with Less Tax for Landlords because I knew Tony, a fellow director from a previous experience. We were looking at how we might be able to help move forward in our collective businesses, and sometimes opportunity just knocks. And with a lot of the changes going on in the tax law, it was fairly obvious that our combined resources could really help in the landlord space. So that's why we decided to put something together and offer a holistic offering to landlords.
We both liked the idea. The hard part now was finding the right kind of property accountant. Managed to find a chap by the name of Chris Bailey, who's a specialist commercial and property tax accountant, who, like Malcolm and I, is an entrepreneur first.
I got involved with Less Tax for Landlords when I met Tony Gimple at a property show in London. We spoke for about an hour on tax structures and estate planning and how we could help clients, as these were the major needs that we thought were in the industry. We then joined up with Malcolm Rose, our business planner, and Less Tax for Landlords was born. Less Tax for Landlords is a proactive business property consultancy which helps clients save tax as well as making their property business profitable.
I spoke to my own accountant who didn't specialise in this. He put me in touch with someone else and I wasn't impressed at all. I then went to speak to about 3 or 4 more people and they quoted various different things. I didn't feel confident about it. I went to see Less Tax for Landlords. I then went to see my accountant who looked at everything. He said, this makes sense. This is the best thing I've seen so far.
Its goals are very simple. It's to help clients, landlords in particular, achieve their personal wealth goals.
Because Tony Gimple made a very good impression at our first meeting. He listened to our needs and then he designed a plan that was appropriate to us.
To keep more of the money that they've earned themselves, as well as turn their property businesses into a profitable business.
I suppose one of the biggest questions we're asked is, what's in it for me? How am I going to make money, from this? And I think the answer here is by stop being an accidental landlord. Being a landlord is no different from running any other business. A professional practice, a film studio, a corner shop, a hotel, a garage. And you're taking raw material, in this case property, and trying to get the maximum return you can at the lowest possible cost in order to do so. As a direct result of doing that, you significantly increase your chances of being successful. You have choice of borrowing, you have better risk management, you have the ability legitimately to minimise your expenses, of which tax is one. In fact, tax is one of the biggest expenses all businesses face.
I've benefited because now I can plan the future and help my tenants, my people I employ as contractors. I can plan futures for my letting agent, and I can look forward, so when I depart this world I can hopefully pass it on to my children and grandchildren.
We help our clients to turn their property businesses, which in many cases are making a loss, into making profits. And we do this by various means: tax planning, tax structure changes, business planning, estate planning, specialist financial services, and we bring all these together under one roof and help our clients to make money, and therefore they can keep more of this money because they're paying less tax.
Landlords gain economically from consulting with us by enabling us to look at their individual situation today. So, for example, they might be earning a fantastic profit. However, they've got issues with the amounts of mortgage they're paying. They might not have the fantastic rents that they could get. There's a lot of other expenses in there, for example, tax that might be around. And we will look to work with them to look at all components of their business and make sure that they're as smart as they possibly can be.
We are investors of a large portfolio of properties, and we've used them then to save tax on property sales as well as inheritance planning and estate planning.
So landlords should consult with Less Tax for Landlords because we're able to look at their holistic situation. We can see where they're coming from, what they're trying to get to. We will look at all of the possible pitfalls that might be in the way. So, for example, they might want to pay a little bit less tax, but that might not make a lot of sense in commercial terms if they're looking to get a mortgage. So, again, we will work with the clients to help them ensure they achieve the objectives that they're setting out to do.
We believe that Less Tax for Landlords is a sympathetic and approachable consultancy, which means that landlords can come to us with any problems they have, any issues they have in relation to their structure, their setup, their financial affairs, their business affairs, and we can help them.
Well, I met all the team and I got on very well with them from the start. They gave me straight answers to straight questions, which was very good. Everyone answered every question in a very professional manner to give me confidence. It was great encouragement because they've got a business manager, they've got an accountant, they've got a legal. I've got the whole package together, which is great.
We have, within the directors of Less Tax for Landlords, we have over 75 years of experience in business. I myself have 20 properties which my wife Penny looks after, and we run our business as a profitable business, and so we try to help our clients run their businesses as profitable property businesses.
Well, what surprised and encouraged me when I got to know Less Tax for Landlords was their experience and expertise as it grew over the last few months. So from our first meeting to our ongoing relationship with them, their expertise is constantly growing and expanding, and that helps me as a property landlord to engage in those services.
My speciality within the business, I suppose core speciality, would be estate planning. I've been involved in writing wills, for want of a better word, and giving advice on, passing on one's wealth as intact as possible and as easy as possible on and off since 1997. Speciality really in business agreements. But more to the point, what I bring to the business is bringing all of the constituent parts together in a way that you can more readily understand. So we become less like the traditional straight-laced professional practice and more like a collaborative, collegiate, business partner type approach.
My area of the business is the business planning side. So once our clients are on board, in fact, during the part of the process that helps get the landlords on board, it's very much a question of understanding what they are trying to do. So by knowing that, we can then tell whether we can help them. because frankly we can help a lot of landlords. Although, do you know what? We're not going to be charging landlords if we can't help save them more money, or at least put them in a better position as a result of working with us than they were before. So I will very much identify what they are trying to do, what the gap is, how much we can help them, and then once we've established that we can help them, we'll sit down, we'll work through those targets at quite a detailed level, including, for example, the landlord being asked to think through what they really want in their life from an income point of view. So it might be they want to have a huge bucket list, it might be they want to contribute more to a charity. So it's all about what they need to have as an income. Once we've understood what they need as an income, we'll look at where their current position is, understand the gap, and start to put a plan together of how we get from A to B.
Less Tax for Landlords helped us with our lasting powers of attorneys. They're also a specialist organization with all the expertise under one roof. They also helped us in our estate planning so that our investments all pass to our children without the necessarily taxes involved.
One example of the excellent feedback that we've had from one of our clients is a client emailed me last week, brand new client, emailed me last week and said he wished he'd met the team 5 years ago because it would have turned his loss-making property business into a very profitable business by now.
So landlords can often be dealing with tenants all the time, and it's not always an easy situation. When they're not dealing with tenants, they're dealing with suppliers, and sometimes they have to be quite snappy with suppliers. So some of the landlords say to us, do you know, it's really nice to have someone to talk to, somebody who's on my side, somebody who's on my case. So that's generally the feedback that we get from people.
We are probably one, if not one of the very few, who bring together all of the elements a landlord would need to successfully run a highly tax efficient professional property business.
I would highly recommend Less Tax for Landlords for anyone or any like-minded investors that are looking for a property appraisal and that would access their services for all sorts of planning and ongoing support.
I would recommend Less Tax for Landlords. I have recommended Less Tax for Landlords, and I would like to encourage other people to come to them. I've spoken to lots of other people, and these are the people who seem best able to go forward. I really would like to encourage everyone to go and meet the team.